Hi folks, Carl here from Let's Ride Bikes. Let me ask you a quick question. When was the last time you stopped riding your bike because you thought you was dehydrated? Not because the bike needed fuel, not because you needed a coffee, but because you was physically dehydrated. Your body needed water. The truth is, most riders don't think about hydration until it's too late. Stay tuned in this video and we'll talk about how it can adversely affect your riding. Hi folks, so today I want to talk to you about something which can affect your riding, whether you're riding a scooter, a sports bike, an adventure bike, a naked bike, any type of bike, whether you're doing overlanding, just riding into town, maybe a little bit further than into town, but you get the gist. This covers everybody who rides a bike. And what many riders don't realise is that dehydration can start a long time before you start feeling thirsty. Normally when you feel thirsty, that's the last sign that you're dehydrated. So let's look at the causes, the signs, the effects, and what you can do to identify it and to remedy the issues. So one of the biggest myths that you hear is riders will say, I'm not sweating because I'm riding. I've not got water running off my head, I've not got water running off my arms. Just because you've not got water running off you, you can still sweat. And by sweating, that's when you lose the salts in your body, the water is leaving your body. There's stuff what we need for day-to-day living, concentration and peak performance. And when we're on a bike, we need that peak performance. So you don't think you sweat while you're riding a bike. Just look at what you're wearing. You've got a big helmet on your head, enclosed for a lot of people. All right, you can have an open face one, but the back of your head's still fully enclosed. You're wearing thick leather gloves. Yeah, you can buy breathable ones, but it's still keeping heat in there. You're wearing jackets with armour plating in, armour padding. You might be wearing an armoured jacket underneath that. You're wearing trousers, leggings, leathers, full leather suits if you're riding race bikes, heavy boots. You're going to have socks on under your boots. You will be sweating whether you like it or not. I'm not talking about winter riding here, I'm talking about summer riding, but you will be sweating. Now most modern day gear is absolutely brilliant now for collision damage or sliding down the road, impact. It's good for that. And a lot of it is breathable, but we're still going to overheat. Going to overheat. I'll put on my Sunday voice. Add that into the warm summer day. You come to a junction, you've got the heat off the bike coming up. You get the picture. I'm not going to lecture you on how you get hot. You know how you get hot. So let's see what we can do about it. But before we talk about what we're going to do about it, let's talk about how we can identify when the dehydration is happening and what it actually does to us. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting for us nerds. Most people think that dehydration is just going to make you thirsty. It's far from it. Feeling thirsty is actually one of the last signs that you're dehydrated. Dehydration affects our performance, which could be life-threatening to us. When you start becoming dehydrated, your body and your brain start to work less efficiently. You might notice lack of judgement, bit of eye fade, you can't focus as far as you normally do. You might feel a little bit lightheaded. You get increased fatigue, reduced awareness. You might start becoming irritable, a little bit of road rage developing, something what you'd have just passed away might really wind you up. You might start having difficulty processing information. Now all this is a sign of being dehydrated. And the thing is, those affect what we need to do on the road. We need to be able to read the road. We need to be able to position the bike. We need to be able to spot hazards, spot changes in what's happening all around us, front and rear. We need to be able to judge bends. We need to be able to manage speed. And once we start getting influenced by dehydration and our brain starts not shutting down totally, but it starts not being as efficient, then the simple things like riding a bike can become difficult. But you're not going to notice it because you're going to go into autopilot on riding. But the small inputs you would not normally need to put are going to get put into it, are going to get affected. And the thing is, the dangerous part about all this is a lot of the time we don't notice it. So what should we be looking out for? Some early common signs. You might start feeling tired, unusually tired. You'll find that your concentration starts to wander. Whereas you might have been concentrating on the bends ahead, you might start thinking about the football on Saturday night, but you start wandering. You'll find yourself missing road signs. You might become more forgetful. You'll struggle to stay focused. You might start getting headache. When you come to a stop and you move your head quickly, you might start feeling a little bit of dizziness. Your mouth's going to feel dry. And as I've said, you'll become irritable or short-tempered. And if you've experienced any of these on a summer's day ride, then you've become dehydrated. Now let's talk about the signs, the symptoms that if you develop, you do need to stop and deal with. If you experience significant dizziness, confusion, blurred vision, muscle cramps, extreme fatigue, or feeling sick, nauseous, then you must stop and deal with it. Don't push on, stop, get into the shade, and you need to get some liquids down you. Hydrate properly. Don't just chug a 2-litre bottle of water because that'll make you feel sick. You just need to sip it, let it get into your system. The road's still going to be there when you've finished drinking it. It's not going to go away. It's important that you deal with it properly because you're going to not feel right, you're not going to be able to perform properly, and you're going to have an accident if you're not careful. Better to be safe than sorry. So let's look at a few mistakes that riders make. Mistake number 1 is waiting until you're thirsty. Wait until you start getting a dry mouth. This isn't an early warning system. This is a last-minute warning system. Your hydration should start before you start riding. Now, yeah, you might say, well, I have a drink and I need to go for a wee. You're better off having to go for a wee than ending up in A&E. Mistake number 2 is drinking lots of fluids when you stop for a break. You don't need to drink lots of fluids, you just need to drink small amounts, but drink them regularly. Your body absorbs water better when it's small amounts, drunk more often, than large amounts every now and again. Think regular top-ups rather than occasional floods. Mistake number 3 is living on coffee. Now I know this is going to upset a few people, and I like my coffees. I always have 2 or 3 coffees first thing in the morning just to feel alive again. And a lot of people think that by drinking coffee while you're riding is going to hydrate you. It might certainly give you a bit of a wake-up call, a bit of a boost. That's the caffeine in it. But it's actually a diuretic and it will dehydrate you. You're better off just drinking water. Enjoy your coffee, and if you want to have a coffee, fine, but have some water with it. And the 4th mistake is ignoring the weather. Most riders think that you will only get dehydrated in hot weather. That's not true. You can get dehydrated at any time. You can easily become dehydrated on a cooler day, especially if you're riding hard, you've got lots of clothing on, you might have scarves, bandanas, the whole caboodle. You're going to sweat. So simple ways to stay hydrated, and it is easy. Have regular stops, drink water, don't drink loads of it at each time, just increase your stop distances or your breaks, the timing, once an hour, just have a cup full of water, that should keep you going. Drink water before you set off, don't wait until you're thirsty. Make sure you carry water with you. Now I've mentioned this in another video, what I do when we're going on tours. I've got what do they call it? One of the things you wear on your back, a camelback, filled with water. You can have the straw coming over your shoulder, and it's quite easily to just stick it into your mouth while you're driving. Have a couple of slurps, turn it off again. That's better for you. If you don't want to be stopping, if you've got to cover some big distances and you can do with riding for 2 hours at a time before you need a stop, that's fine, but get that water down you. And the thing is, plan water stops on your routes as much as you plan your fuel stops. It's as important to fuel you with water as it is to fuel the bike with fuel. Now, during my years as a police rider, as an instructor, doing the tours, one thing what became very clear is that you can see when riders become dehydrated, because they do start making the simplest of mistakes. They might do it once and you think, oh, he read that wrong, or she read it wrong. But then when they continually start to do it, the positioning is totally wrong for the bends. They're missing road signs. They're going into restricted speed areas, still over the speed limits and things like that. It's not because they're reckless riding, it's because the brain is not processing the information what they're getting. And sometimes just simply stopping, having some water, it'll sort it out. Like I said earlier, have some water, have a rest, don't drink too much all at once, sip it, then carry on. And you'll find it should sort the problem out. So, final thoughts. Motorcycles need fuel, we need water. It's as simple as that. We don't think anything about planning a fuel stop for the bike. We put some fuel in, and what do? We go in, we pay for it, we get back on the bike, and we ride away. Don't neglect your body. Your body needs the water, your brain needs the water. It's a simple thing to keep on top of, and it could make a massive difference to your riding experience. Stay ahead of dehydration, keep yourself sharp, keep yourself alert, most importantly, keep yourself safe. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt the effects of dehydration while you've been riding? What did you do to overcome it? I know what the answer will be. You had a drink. But what symptoms did you notice? Or did you notice them? Did somebody have to take you on one side and say, I think you're dehydrated? Who knows? Let us know in the comments below, because your experiences can help somebody else. So if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, click the like, consider subscribing if you've not already subscribed, and if you want to go over to our Patreon page, we've got some tiers on there. We've got a touring and riders tier, we've got an advanced riding section, and you can just go over as a free member if you like. The links are in the description, and if you've nothing else to do this afternoon while you're watching this or tonight, just click on one of those links and go and have a look. You're under no obligation, but you might learn something. So until next time, ride safe, stay hydrated, get out there, and let's ride bikes.